From the corner of Clark and Addison on a scorching hot mid-July night, we're set for Chicago Cubs baseball. It's WGN Sports on the U. The Cubs open up the second half tonight, the first of a 4-game weekend series and a long 11-day, 10-game homestand. They welcome in the two-time defending National League champion Philadelphia Phillies. Hi again, everyone. I'm Len Casper, and filling in for Bob Brenly, who's covering the Florida State League this weekend. Former Cub great Keith Moreland, and also a member of the 1980 champion Philadelphia Phillies. Keith, it's been a rough first half for the Cubs. They turn a new page, 11 games under 500, but the lone Cub All-Star sure made his mark, didn't he?
Marlon Byrd was outstanding. He really does a nice job in an at-bat with 2 outs to get on first base. And then he comes around to score the 3rd run of the inning as he makes a nice slide at the plate. A National League have an opportunity to win a game. Big part of the game right here, though, is defensive play, where he makes a nice scoop and in the presence of mind to come up and make a perfect throw to get Big Poppy. Second base, that's a big play.
There's no question he's been the Cubs team MVP, and the thing you like about that play, yeah, he's played some right field in his career, but he's been a center fielder all season.
Well, he did the right thing, though. When he got the jump, he got to the ball, but he knew where he was going to go with the baseball right away. That's the part that's important part of that play.
All right, good timing tonight. Your former teammate, Jamie Moyer, the 47-year-old lefty, is going to pitch against the Cubs.
He's the last guy in the big leagues that I faced or played with. So you look at Jamie Moyer, he keeps you off balance. He's been able to make this many starts over the course of his career by changing speeds in and out. He forces you to be mentally right when you come to the plate as a hitter.
And for the Cubs, right-hander Ryan Dempster, this will be his first start in about 8 days. 500 record, but he's been very solid.
Oh, he's a better pitcher than a 500 pitcher. Also, the other thing he does in this ballpark, he is very difficult, only hitting .201 against him or his opponents.
All right, Moyer and Dempster, a couple of veterans on the mound. We kickstart the second half with the Phillies and Cubs on a red-hot night here at Wrigley. The sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By Pepsi. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. Submit your idea at refresheverything.com. And by Illinois Lottery's newest game, Powerball Wednesday and Saturday jackpots start at $20 million. Tonight's game is available in Spanish on your SAP audio setting, provided by WRTO La Tremenda, Chicago's Spanish language sports leader. Let's get into the Philadelphia Phillies starting lineup. They rank 5th in the National League in runs, but it's been a weird year. They had a stretch of 8 games during which they were shut out 5 times earlier. Rollins will lead it off. Victorino, another switch hitter. Raul Ibanez is in left. The All-Star Ryan Howard at first. Jason Worth going into free agency after the season. Probably going to get a huge contract from somebody. Dobbs at third for the injured Placido Polanco. Ruiz catches. Wilson Valdez in for the injured Chase Utley, and Jamie Moyer will do the pitching.
Well, Jamie Moyer has done an outstanding job. Marlon Byrd, though, in center. You look at the Cubs defense, brought to you by Pepsi. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. But Marlon Byrd, the all-star for the Cubs, outstanding defensive center fielder, has done a nice job. You've got to be good up the middle then, defensively, if you're going to be good. Marlon Byrd is excellent in center field. Brian Dempster, better than a 500 pitcher. You look at that ERA, 3.61. I think the number that jumps off the page for me is the opponent's batting average and the limited number of walks. In 122 innings, which by far leads the Cubs staff, only 43 walks on that. He's just had a propensity to give up a home run at the wrong time. That's the reason he's 7-7 at this point.
Jimmy Rollins will lead off the second half. The cornermen are in on the infield, and he takes ball one on a fastball just outside. Cubs, as we mentioned in the open, come in 11 under 500, 9.5 out. In the National League Central, they reside in 4th. The Phillies are in 3rd in the East, 4.5 back of Atlanta. And they engineered a 4-game sweep over the Reds to finish up the pre-All-Star break portion of their schedule as Rollins grounds out to Ryan Theriot.
Well, that was a huge stretch for the Phillies right before break to sort of get them to feel like they're back into their race. 4.5 back starting today. They need that guy right there at the top, Jimmy Rollins, to swing the bat better. He's only hitting .208 since coming back off of the DL. You know, that's a guy that makes them go at the top.
Time now for our Chrysler game forecast. 87 degrees, and that feels cool. It's brought to you by Chrysler. For more info on our vehicle lineup, log on to Chrysler.com or stop by your Chicagoland or Northwest Indiana Chrysler dealer today.
Felt like 110 down on the field before the game. It was smoking.
Shane Victorino up in the air out to Tyler Colvin. The wind's going to blow everything out toward right, and we were talking during batting practice, Keith, that even for a right-handed hitter on a night like this, you hit a ball down the line and you might find a home run that'll get pushed into the well area.
Well, this is the type of the wind, and when I played in this ballpark, that you felt like it was a night when it was blowing out, just because of the fact that this direction out of the northwest, it made everything carry more into right center, but it really didn't hurt the ball that you hit into the gap, especially in left field, and we were able to get balls out of the ballpark.
Raul Ibanez playing left and batting third. 1 ball, no strikes. He began the year hitting 6th, then recently put into that 3 spot with Chase Utley on the disabled list, and Ibanez has hit 360 in that spot right in front of Ryan Howard. He was struggling lower in the lineup.
He's a very good offensive player, had a magnificent first half 2009.
And a roller back up the middle for a base hit, and that keeps the Phillies inning alive for the aforementioned Ryan Howard. We'll check in on the umpiring crew. Fieldon Culbreth will call the balls and strikes. Marty Foster at first. The crew chief is Gary Cedarstrom at second, and Ed Hickox is at third.
You would much rather face this young man coming to the plate here with nobody on. Tremendous power.
They will put on a huge pull shift on the infield against Ryan Howard. You have Ryan Terrio well into the grass and right.
You'd give him a base hit to left field and go on down the road right here.
I think so.
Yeah.
You're right about his power. Since 2005, Ryan Howard with 237 home runs, most in the majors. A towering fly ball, and that will go. Man, oh man, it's going to bounce onto Sheffield. He got it up into the jet stream, but I don't think the wind really mattered.
Well, he got great extension. When Ryan Howard can get his hands away from his body and get that extension, Dempster gets this ball up and out over the plate. He just gets full extension on it. There was a no-doubter when it left the bat. It was out of here. That's, solo homers don't beat you, but 2-run homers put you in trouble right off the bat. This ball out over the plate. It's great extension on the fastball. Howard knew it right there. There was no question. It was just a matter of how far it was going to go.
So the 3-time All-Star, who was the DH for the National League on Tuesday, has a day off. Yesterday, comes back tonight and hits a 2-run homer, his 18th of the year. And Keith, you mentioned it in the open. Ryan Dempster's biggest problem this year is he has given up home runs. That's the 17th he's allowed. And a called strike quickly. 0-2 on Jason Worth.
Well, when you're in a ballpark that the ball would go out of the ballpark, again, solo homers, you hate to give them up, but they're not bad. But after you give up a 2-run shot, 3-run shot, it really changes your offensive philosophy as well.
I was talking with Lou Piniella before the game, and just looking at the forecast really for this entire homestand, I would expect the wind will blow out pretty much every day. And you got to score runs on a homestand like this, and especially against a Phillies offense that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, and against Jamie Moyer, who's allowed 509 career homers, the most all time.
Well, offensively, when the wind's blowing out at Wrigley, you've got to have a mindset that we're going to go out and throw a touchdown up a day. That's just the bottom line. Because your pitching staff is going to, no matter how well, and they have pitched very well throughout the year, your pitching staff is going to give up just exactly what we saw there, a 2-out single to center and then a 2-run homer. Offensively, we've got to do the same thing. And sometimes you got to take little body blows and hope you don't get a knockout blow early in the ballgame.
2-2 on Jason Worth. Called strike 3. He knew it, and that ends the inning. Ryan Howard with a long 2-run homer. So the Phillies get a couple. The Cubs are coming up against Jamie Moyer when we come back. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. Ryan Theriot will lead it off. Tyler Colvin is in right. Derek Lee at first. The All-Star Marlon Byrd hits cleanup. Aramis had a very good road trip to end the first half. A lot of at-bats for Soriano. Low batting average, but 4 homers against Jamie Moyer. And then the Cubs go Soto, Castro, and Dempster at the bottom.
Oh, when you look at the Phillies defense, the guy that jumps off the page to me is Jason Worth. He does so many different things. An outstanding arm. Not only does he do a good job of stopping singles or doubles and making them singles, he keeps teams from going first to third with his throwing arm. Just outstanding in right field.
And the former Cub, Jamie Moyer, deals a fastball at 80 miles an hour. That's right. He's looking for his 10th win. 47 years old. He has 267 wins, the most of all active pitchers. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He just he gets decisions. Every time he goes out, you see only 20 walks in 107 innings. He forces you to swing the bat. He pitches to contact, trying to keep the hitter off balance. He just makes you think so much. Sometimes you overthink when you see a guy like Jamie Moyer.
3-1 on Ryan Theriot.
Very competitive, too. The other thing is, just as an ex-teammate of mine, he is a guy that's really out there competing. He's not emotional, but he is really a competitor.
Cued off the end of the bat. That's been a problem for Ryan. You get a 3-1 pitch, and he dribbled one to Ryan Howard. And that's the first out.
Rhythm and timing. Went with a changeup, 3-1. You think you have it timed. Not only does he throw a changeup, but he throws 3 or 4 different speeds off of that changeup. That one, the one that looked like it was going to be a little harder, just cued it right off the end of the bat. There's nothing more frustrating as a hitter. You work a good count, you think you get a good pitch to hit, and you hit a dribbler up the first baseline.
Brings up Tyler Colvin. Maybe a little mentally fatigued at the end of the first half. In fact, Lou gave Tyler the day off Sunday in Los Angeles just to get an extra day here during the break. 1 strike on the rookie right fielder. 12 home runs. He might lead the team in homers when it's all said and done. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. 0-2.
Well, what happens sometimes at this point, the mental strain, you've come to the big leagues, you established yourself as a pretty good player. He was 2 for 17 on the trip, and you can see that you're that point where you're just starting to push a little bit.
And he gets hit by an 0-2 pitch.
Great right there, no doubt. Tried to move him back off the plate. Tyler just turned to the inside, took it for the team. Just tried to run this fastball in after 2 breaking balls away from him. Tyler, those times you say thank you very much. 0-2 to a left-hander. Left-handed hitter got a chance to get first base.
Now Derek Lee with 1 on and 1 out, and he takes a strike. And Keith, I have to imagine when a 47-year-old left-hander hits you with a pitch at 79 miles an hour, you cannot act hurt even if it does, right?
No, even if
they'll never let you live it down in the dugout.
Even if it's on the funny bone. you can't do anything.
0-2. Derek not so sure about that call by Field and Culver.
Started to move breaking ball, came back. That's a fastball in. And he's trying to get this ball inside and keep him from extending. Well, that's at the very top part of the zone, that's for sure.
And I would also think for a guy like Jamie Moyer, any way you can expand that strike zone, he will use it to his advantage.
No question. If he's going to get an inch outside, he'll try 2 inches. Change up situation here. Trying to get Lee to roll over the top of it.
Big leg kick. 2-2 on Derek Lee. And Byrd will get a good hand. And he comes up for his first at bat after his first All-Star experience. It's punched foul off to the right. Bob Brenly will return on Monday. His son Michael with a nice 13-game hitting streak in the Florida State League, and he gets it to 15 or 16. Keith, I don't know if Bob will come back with the mojo.
Need to keep swinging it.
It's always great to have you back here at Wrigley Field with us.
Appreciate it. It's fun to be here.
Big swing, and the ball not going to carry as Jason Worth's underneath and had to backpedal a little bit.
Stay away, change speeds, and then 2-2. That's why he has been as successful as Jamie Moyer has in his career. Again, that fastball, not overpowering, but it's just in a perfect position. Ties a guy up when you got 2-2. You're thinking away, you're thinking off speed, and all of a sudden that fastball looks like it's 100 miles an hour, even though it's 81, because it's in the right location. I'm talking about a guy that does love to hit left-handers, Marlon Byrd. Been hot as well. He's 10 out of his last 24, and he's been outstanding against left-handed pitching all season long.
Key 2-out walk and run, as we showed you the game-winning hit for the National League Tuesday. The MVP Brian McCann cleared the bases as the NL won 3-1 for the first time since 1996. Charlie Manuel managing the National League for the second consecutive year, and he said before the game, he said, I'd like to enjoy this a little more than last year. He said there's so many changes you have to make as the all-star skipper, so all of a sudden you look up, the game's over.
He did a nice job of managing that game. I watched that from start to finish, as most people across the country. You're always interested in what's going on. It was one of those games where you knew at any moment one mistake, a managerial mistake or a player mistake, was going to be the separation in the game.
2-1 on Bird. If you just joined us, Ryan Howard hit a booming 2-run homer out into Sheffield to give the Phillies the early lead.
Well, you'd love to come back and answer right here.
And Marlon Byrd gets hit. So 2 base runners via the hit batsman. And for Moyer, he had come in having hit just 4 batters in his first 17 starts of the year. But Marlon Byrd's a guy who will get hit a lot. It's the 13th time he's been hit.
He's just not going to give up. He's right there. And again, trying to work that fastball in. Marlon didn't do anything to get out of the way. He just turned. Said, I'll take that and take first base. Ramirez has been a hot hitter. If he can continue 12 out of the last 28 with 4 home runs, he'll have a 3-run shot here.
Excellent road trip to finish up the first half. I asked him today, because of the way you finished, were you a little upset that you had a break? He said, you know what, I used it well. Thumb feels a little bit better. It's really hard to find a guy who doesn't need a 3-day break. That's down the line, fair, and it's going to score at least one as Colvin comes in. Marlon Byrd's going to be sent by Mike Quaddy, and he'll score easily. And they do answer back. Aramis Ramirez with a 2-run double. So they utilize those 2-hit batters and turn them into runs.
Well, Ramirez does a nice job staying back. This is an off-speed pitch and just gets enough of it. As they try to get him inside, he gets it right off at the end of the bat. He does a nice job keeping that backside elbow up where he can stay on top of the ball. Ball gets down in the corner. Ibanez tries to get to it, wants to play the ricochet, and the long Cubs get a huge break. That ball sort of dies against the pad there and allows Byrd to score from first base to tie the game. Ibanez went to play that ricochet, and if that ball bounces up, it's going to ricochet to him. No way Byrd can score. Cubs get a break with that ball sort of getting in underneath the pad.
Chopper foul off the bat of Alfonso Soriano. So for Ramirez, he now has 11 RBIs over his last 7 games.
He could have a monster second half.
When I looked it up today, this is how rough a year Aramis has had. His season batting average has been over 200 for just 7 days all season. 4 days in April and then 3 here in July. But hopefully we don't have to talk about the 180s or 190s the rest of the way.
Well, just start going your direction. One thing he's been so good throughout his career is 2 out RBIs. Comes up with 2 big ones right there. You're 11 games under 500. The first thing you got to fight back to is 500. The 2 corner infielders are going to be the key to that.
He's run at full 3-2. Soto on deck.
These are the counts that are so tough when you're facing a guy like Moyer. Yeah, he has so many things he can do to.
Little tapper foul, and he also has first base open.
Well, that was the change where he took a whole lot off of it. Now as a hitter, you got to think, well, will they come back inside? You know, most of the time you say, well, they're just going to see it, hit it. But hitting is rhythm and timing, and he disrupts your timing with outstanding motion with his changeup. And because of that, it's tough to say I'm going to look away and react to the changeup if he throws that fastball in.
One hit harder, but also foul.
Alfonso not fooled that time. He did try to come with the fastball middle part of the plate in, and he was right there. You can see Ruiz move inside, comes with the fastball. Alfonso drills it. See if he doesn't go back away here with a change.
High in the air to left, and again this ball, I thought it might carry a little bit better as Ibanez underneath will make the catch. He hit that to right tonight. It's a home run. With the way the wind is blowing, they get 2 on the double by Ramirez, and we're tied after 1. Greg Dobbs leading off the Phillies second. A 2-2 tie. Ramos Ramirez with a 2-run double. Phillies have 2 guys on the DL, but 2 very important guys. The third baseman and second baseman. Dobbs filling in for Placido Polanco as Colvin calls it in. Today's Walgreens celebrity bat kids: Giovanni Shafroth from Oak Park and Jacob Wolf from Chicago. For more info on how you can be a Walgreens celebrity bat kid, go to WGNradio.com. Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. To read what Giovanna wrote on her hand. I'm sure that was a message for somebody.
She was trying to say hi.
She might have been saying get well to our producer Mark Brady, who's under the weather and resting comfortably at home, and we hope you're back soon, Big Daddy.
Yeah, I'm missing.
It's a lot more quiet in the ballpark without our producer Mark Brady tonight. 1-1 to count. Carlos Ruiz, the catcher, recently came off the disabled list. Now 1-2. Ended up breaking up Travis Wood's bid for a perfect game against the Reds on Saturday. 0-0 tie. But off the bottom of the ninth with a double. Wood would get out of that inning. They'd go to extras. They won it 1-0 in 11, and Ruiz scored the winning run.
You know, he's a guy, though, that works counts. He gets himself in positions where you have to throw him a fastball, and he does not get cheated on a fastball middle part of the plate in.
Called strike 3. Fastball froze him on the outside corner. Second strikeout for Dempster.
This is a perfect pitch. This is Rembrandt. Just take it, paint the outside corner. Comes back, tails it back. Excellent pitch by Ryan. You put your sword away and go sit down with that pitch right there.
Well, Polanco has left elbow inflammation. He is on a rehab assignment in Florida and might be back as soon as Saturday. And Wilson Valdez filling in for Chase Utley. Utley might not be back until September after right thumb surgery.
And that is a huge blow to this Phillies lineup. One of the best clutch hitters in the game. Valdez has really struggled offensively. 3 for 20 his last homestand.
One thing he can't do in this spot is hit into a double play. How about this, Keith? He's grounded into 14 double plays in only 55 games. That's hard to do.
It's hard to do, and he runs well. That's the other thing. He's got good speed.
He asks for time before Dempster goes into his windup. Again, Keith Moreland filling in for Bob Brenly tonight. This is a little warm-up act as you will conduct the 7th inning stretch tomorrow afternoon.
Well, I tell you what,
you get to announce tonight and sing tomorrow.
And I got the worst voice on the planet.
You'll do fine.
I know the words.
That's a good start. And Ryan Dempster goes 1-2-3 in the second. 4 in a row he has sent down since the Howard home run. 2-2 midway in the second. On-field experience with the Chicago Cubs fantasy camp on August 8th. Participants will enjoy a Cubs game in VIP style. On the 9th, they'll fulfill the lifelong fantasy of playing ball here at Wrigley Field with instruction from Ernie Banks, Billy Williams, Rick Sutcliffe, and others. Space is limited. Call 773-404-4748 or email WrigleyExperience@Cubs.com. 1 ball, 1 strike on catcher Giovanni Soto. Finished up strong on the West Coast trip, 9 for 20 with 6 knocked in. The 1-2 pitch is a little bit low. Jamie Moyer, acquired from Seattle in August of '06. To Souderton High School, just north of Philadelphia. There's a deep drive to left. Ibanez will get under it right on the warning track.
That ball sort of stayed up in the air that time. Hit that one more into the teeth of the wind. Didn't get any help. It didn't sort of push it to the well. This ball's hit pretty well, and just wind out of the northwest today, blowing from the left field corner to the right field corner, really helping the ball into left center all the way over to the right field line. That ball just held up that time. Didn't get full extension on it. Hit it pretty well.
We are email accessible as always. Len and Bob at Tribune.com. You can email Len and Keith, but email Len and Bob at Tribune.com. You know, it gets a little confusing.
That's confusing.
We have smart fans out there. Castro to straightaway center. Victorino got turned around. It's going to be over his head. And Castro will make the turn on his way to third. Relay throw by Valdez is late. That's a triple for Starlin Castro. His 4th triple already.
Well, the young man understood when he hit the baseball. He had a great opportunity to get to third base, and when he left home plate, he did a nice job of hustling the entire time. Never gave it up. Ball out over the plate, got great extension. Victorino playing very shallow, as you mentioned, turned the wrong direction. Ball comes in off of the wall. Castro does a nice job of hustling from home plate, head first slide into third base. I mentioned his 4th triple. Exciting young ball player.
So the Phillies will bring their infield in with the pitcher Ryan Dempster at the plate. Not showing bunt. That would not be a bad choice here. He is the best bunter on the team, and even if he makes it out here, he could knock in Castro. We'll see. Swinging away, and he clubs it foul.
Pretty good hack at that fastball.
Even the pitchers are thinking they can reach the seats tonight.
Well, watching the pitchers hit in batting practice today, there were a lot of them putting them in the seats. If you're going to squeeze, this would be the pitch that you would squeeze on.
And it's the squeeze, a suicide squeeze, and he scores. Dempster never did make contact.
Well, the ball was down and away from Ruiz, and he knew that Dempster wasn't going to be able to get to it. He tried to pick it real quick, and He just couldn't get the handle of it. It gets away from him, and Castro never slows down, but it was the right pitch. See, this ball's away in the dirt, tough pitch to bunt. Tried to block it. Castro coming in to score, but that was the pitch you were going to squeeze on. If you were going to squeeze, Lou pulls the string, gets a run.
And Dempster swings and misses for the strikeout, but he did his job because while he was at the plate, the Cubs got the lead.
He was going on that. That very well could be called by the official score a steal of home. I mean, because there was no contact. Right. So Castro may have stolen his first base the first time he's stolen home plate in his big league career.
1-0 on Ryan Theriot. And he was credited with a stolen base.
That's something you can put in the memory banks. There's not a lot of us that have played this game and never say, I stole home once.
And normally these days a steal of home is usually on a double steal. You know, first and third. From first to second, yes. And the guy from third scores. When I think of stealing home outright, I think of Jackie Robinson.
No doubt.
In the air, and Victorino going back on this one, and the two-time Gold Glover will get there to end the inning. But Starlin Castro with a triple and then steals home, and the Cubs lead 3-2. Starlin Castro with a triple and then stole home on a suicide squeeze, a pitch that was in the dirt. And the Cubs lead 3-2. And Ryan Dempster behind Jamie Moyer, a career 127 batter. 2 balls, no strikes. Still lots of sunshine left on this Thursday evening. 2-1.
Cubs offense has answered for Dempster. This is a big inning, though. You need to retire Moyer and then get through the top of their order here. Get back into the dugout offensively with the lead.
3-1.
Dempster upset with himself with that pitch. Immediately turns around. Sort of scratches at the rubber. Got to throw a strike here.
And that in the dirt on ball 4. So Moyer with a leadoff walk. And
let's take a look now at the Budweiser Thirst Can.
You gotta have faith in the one that you love. You gotta have faith beyond the above. Sometimes you gotta lose it just to lose it, just to find it again. You may not recognize it, gonna need it when you get to the end. You gotta have faith in the one that you love.
That one was Faith, a new song from Alejandro Escovedo, an Austinite. Budweiser with full flavored and a crisp finish. That's what we do.
Jimmy Rollins flies out to Soriano on one pitch. So 1 out with Moyer at first, and it'll bring up Shane Victorino, who's 0 for 1. Some cliches or baseball adages are kind of worn out and tired, but I think the leadoff walk is never good. Always applies.
Oh, it is never good.
It's never good.
At every level.
Especially when it's a 9-hitter.
Yeah. And a pitcher in the National League. Of course, if you're playing the Cardinals, it's not a pitcher.
That's right, and a few other teams have tried that too.
Oh.
See Derek Lee having a little problem with the sun coming through the grandstand area. That should not be a problem here in a few minutes. Going outside. We were talking before the game, your career here in Chicago. You had a lot of 3 o'clock starts. Oof. And as you said, you know, 6:15, terrible light for the batters. Very similar to Anaheim, as Theriot able to get just 1. He had a little trouble getting the handle on it. It's one of the reasons we didn't see a lot of scoring in the All-Star game, because of that late afternoon start in Anaheim. But you can speak to
shadows.
Trying to hit with Lee Smith on the mound.
Oh, well, Lee Smith, that's when the opponents we had to play, had a tough time some of the great closers in the National League at the time, and you know, we did not have any lights. So even now, when you play at the start of a 7 o'clock game, the lights do give some help, take some of that shadow away. But there was the All-Star game. Those first 4 innings, you saw hitters here very defensive in that game.
So Moyer at second, 2 gone. And, you know, Banya's single would not necessarily get the tying run in.
But one thing I will say, Jamie Moyer is a very good base runner. He has been throughout his career. He's played a lot in the National League. He gets a good secondary lead. He does some things, and he will not be afraid to try to score. I mean, he's a veteran player. He can't stick around as long as he is if you don't do some other things other than throw strikes.
A little bit of a head start because they're 2 outs. That's a strike, 1-1. Make sure you check out our WGN Baseball blog. Go to WGNTV.com. Click on Sports. We'll have the 7th inning stretch singers for this 10-game homestand. Also check out Ryan Dempster visiting the WGN Morning News and the Dunk Tank. Game notes from our friends at Stats and much more.
Dunk Tank doesn't sound all that much fun.
It did at about 4 o'clock when I ran up the ramp here.
About 107. The game's supposed to be played in the heat. Ballpark's got packed. It's always fun to be at Rick.
Cut by Ibanez, and he fouled it into the upper deck. And send out happy 4th birthday wishes to young Cub fan Danny Grant, brother Ryan, and parents Dan and Janine. Also a happy birthday wish to a lifelong Cub fan, Dr. Jim Rooney in Peru, Illinois, retired optometrist, recently turned 88.
Congratulations.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. So he walks Moyer, but then gets the next 3 batters, and the Cubs lead 3-2 in the 3rd.
Boys, Lottery Mega Millions. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot, $64 million. Count them, $64 million. I'd like to have a part of that.
It's a lot of zeros.
It's a lot of zeros. That's exactly right.
We haven't seen a lot of zeros tonight, as we've seen runs in 3 of the first 5 half innings. Tyler Colvin takes strike 1 from Jamie Moyer. Limited schedule around baseball tonight. The Braves and Brewers are playing. They had a rain delay in that one. 2-1 Atlanta in the 6th. Knocked down by Howard, and he won't have time, as Colvin will have a hit. So he's reached both times. Hit by a pitch in the 1st, and a leadoff single here in the 3rd.
He stays inside this ball real well, does Colvin. And Ryan Howard moves around real well for a big man, knocks this ball down, takes away extra bases. Tyler with a base hit. Leadoff base runner here in the bottom of the 3rd. Cubs have scored in their first 2 at-bats. Good start here.
In that game in Atlanta, Alex Gonzalez with a double and a walk in his first 2 plate appearances as an Atlanta Brave. The former Toronto Blue Jay acquired during the All-Star break in a deal involving Yunel Escobar going the other way. Derek Lee deep to left and gone. 5-2. That's his 11th of the year, and for Jamie Moyer, he's now allowed a record 510 career home runs.
When they started Derek off with a breaking ball the first time for a strike, Derek felt like, you know, I'm going to look for that curveball this time. He gets it on the first pitch. As he just steps in, Moyer tries to drop the little curveball in. Lee was looking for it that time. Derek knew right there he got all of it. The BMW. Let's check out the BMW Ultimate Drive. Only BMW offers ultimate service. Buy a BMW now and pay zero maintenance cost for 4 years or 50,000 miles, whichever comes first.
Starting to feel like one of those nights, isn't it?
Oh, it's going to be an offensive night. There's no question about it. We saw that with Howard's home run in the 1st. Cubs have scored in their first 3 at-bats. And
a low strike, 1-1.
And you better get all you can get.
I think that's a great point. You got to cash in when those opportunities present themselves on a night like this. Hot temperatures, ball really jumping, wind blowing out.
Now, we were talking at the beginning of the broadcast about being mentally ready against Jamie Moyer, but that's a nice job by Derek. He started him off with that very same pitch for a strike his first time up.
Hard by Bird, but backhanded. Jimmy Rollins gets rid of it quickly, and they get the out. Jimmy Rollins 3 times a Gold Glove winner, and that's why. Nicely done.
It was an outstanding play as he catches the ball. The thing that's so great that Rollins does here, he anticipates Bird pulling the ball. As he gets it, you can see right here, it plants that right foot, go ahead and squares his shoulder. Doesn't try to overpower the ball. He knows he's got to get it and get rid of it. With Bird's speed going down the line, that's an outstanding play right there.
Low and in to Aramis. 2-run double to tie it in the first. The Phillies came in having dealt 21 consecutive scoreless innings. They had back-to-back 1-0 shutout wins over the Reds last weekend. But as Keith mentioned, the Cubs have now scored in every inning against Jamie Moyer tonight. Three balls, no strikes.
And for a veteran guy, he's hurt himself. The 2 hit batters in the first. Outstanding individual effort by Castro to score after the triple in the second. And then he made a mistake, got a breaking ball up to lead. And the 2 corner guys, I think that's the other good start to the second half. The 2 corner guys, Ramirez and Lee, both with 2 ribbies here early in the ballgame.
On strike 2, it's full.
He's hungry right there.
He's going to try, but I just don't think he's going to be able to eat that ball.
I don't think he can get through that leather.
Still 3-2 on Ramirez. Soriano on deck. Longest homestand of the year for the Cubs starting tonight. Houston will come in starting Monday for 3, and the next weekend the Cardinals are back.
We haven't seen them in a while.
Cubs and Cardinals have only played 3 games, and the Cubs have not even gone to Busch Stadium yet.
The schedule is a lot different than it used to be.
Cardinals leading the Dodgers 2-0 in the second tonight. Good matchup on the mound. Clayton Kershaw and Chris Carpenter. Popped them up. This will be Ryan Howard. Time now for our PNC achievement. And tonight we look at Jamie Moyer through the years, going all the way back to the mid-1980s when he was a teammate of Keith Moreland's. Texas and St. Louis, Baltimore, Boston, pitched for Lou Piniella in Seattle. He was there for 10 years and then a trade to his hometown Phillies team in 06. And a strike on Soriano. We mentioned the all-time home run record. It was previously held by the late Robin Roberts, longtime Philadelphia Philly. Gave up 505 career home runs. There's the Robin Roberts jersey hanging in the visitors' dugout. Roberts actually finished his career as a Cub in 1966.
Roberts, part of the 1950 Whiz kids, though. That's where Fergie right there. Talked to Fergie many times, and he said, you know, I didn't mind giving up that solo homers, those 2- and 3-run shots.
Phillies also wearing a number 36 patch in honor of the late Roberts, who also wore 36 as a Cub. He was born in Springfield, Illinois. High and deep to left, and Soriano with a home run. Hello, Waveland, 6-2. Well, he just got under one back in the first inning, but he got all of that one.
Upstairs, make a mistake. It's great extension on it. How about long ball tonight? 6 on the board here early. Tried to sneak a fastball back inside, left it up and out over the plate. Alfonso knew he had that one right away. No wind or not. See him get great extension. Alfonso knew it was gone.
It's his 5th career homer against Jamie Moyer. And almost 60 career bats. They've matched up a lot. Soto out to left for Ibanez. And the Cubs have knocked around Jamie Moyer tonight. They get 3 in the 3rd and now lead 6-2. Home runs. And the big boys getting it done. Lee, Ramirez, and Soriano with the RBIs in this one. Starling Castro also stealing home in a suicide squeeze, and the Cubs lead 6-2. Ryan Howard with a 2-run homer his first time, leading off the 4th. This is quickly down 0-2.
And this is the most unusual shift you've ever seen. Starling Castro is playing rover in right center field. Terrio is also in right. Folks, they're 160 feet from home plate.
Derek Lee with just his toes on the dirt. So he and Aramis Ramirez, the only 2 guys playing on the dirt, and barely in the case of Derek Lee.
If you're Dempster, you got to do a pretty good job of fielding and being over at first base for sure, because Lee's going to have to come get anything slowly hit.
If they were playing pitcher's hand, it would be a little easier in this spot. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Excellent pitch there. Change speeds. Had Howard out on his front foot. Got ahead of him. Cubs baseball is brought to you by Bud Light Lime. The drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of a lime is excellent. Cold beer, I've had one before.
Ryan Dempster working with a 4-run lead and a strike on right fielder Jason Worth.
You were talking about Jason Worth earlier. I think he's one of those guys that is going to be highly sought after because he fits in so many different lineups. He can do so many different things. Still a base when you need it. Excellent outfielder. He's got good power.
Well, there aren't too many of these guys around, but if you even consider what a 5-tool player is, he is in the discussion.
There's no doubt. And there are not many of them around, that's for sure.
I did ask him about impending free agency. He said, I'm just going to be myself. Hopefully that's good enough. But I think most players dream of being in the situation Jason Worth is in. At the peak of his career, and
with a good ball club, two excellent left-handed hitters wrapped around him most of the time. Howard and Utley.
Called strike 3. And Dempster with 3 consecutive strikeouts and 6 overall.
Again, he just paints the outside corner, starts his ball away. Worth just could not pop the trigger. Obviously guessing another type of a pitch in that situation.
Greg Dobbs, normally one of their top pinch hitters off the bench, but forced into a lot of starters duty at third base with Placido Polanco out. He's gotten a second life with the Phillies this season. He was designated for assignment, then outrighted to AAA in late June, and brought back a few days later when Polanco went to the shelf. 2-out single. Don't miss the action as the Cubs battle the Astros this Monday here at Wrigley Field. Game time 7:05, but be sure to arrive early. First 10,000 fans get a Cubs mouse pad, compliments of Vegas.
mentioned Dobbs. He's hitting about 250 as a starter. He's really struggled. He's been an excellent pinch hitter, but he's only had 2 pinch hits on the season leading in. He's hitting less than 100 as a pinch hitter. He's done a pretty good job when he's got a chance to start ball games.
I mentioned earlier the Phillies with back-to-back 1-0 wins to finish up the first half over Cincinnati. I don't see any notes about how often this has happened.
Not
but
very
in
often.
both 1-0 wins, and I guess for the Phillies it was the first time since 1913 they had back-to-back 1-0 wins. But in both games, Ruiz scored the only run and Jimmy Rollins knocked in that run. How about that?
Yeah, and both of them, neither one really hot with the bat. They were just the right guys at the right spot. Rollins has struggled since coming off the DL. They've got to get him going.
Good location, 2-1.
They've been a team that has not had their starters, their quote-unquote opening day lineup, in the lineup very often this season with all the injuries. They still find themselves just 4.5 out here starting the second half.
Roy Halladay will pitch Sunday night.
Well, it's nice to have
Tom
a guy
Borzolani.
like, yeah, it's nice to have a guy like that.
Some people thought the Phillies could have possibly not only dealt for Halladay but held on to Cliff Lee.
Well, I think
that didn't happen.
I thought when the deal first went down, Lee wasn't involved in it. I thought Lee was going to stay in Philadelphia.
It's up 3-2. Sure is looking like Moyer is done. Herndon has been throwing basically since the Soriano home run. There goes on the 3-2 with 2 outs, and Ruiz pops it up. Castro will make the catch. So a nice shutdown inning for Ryan Dempster. He hasn't given up anything since the first and has a 6-2 lead. 3 hits and 12 career at bats, but you never hit one out of the park.
Kept me off balance as a teammate. Those couple of ribbies there, though, did cost him a loss. The one time I did get to him when he was a Texas Ranger.
Toyota and your local Toyota dealers, official partner of the Chicago Cubs. Good to have you with us tonight. Cubs lead 6-2, and a short night for Jamie Moyer. He's had a couple of rough starts. His last one, he gave up 3 home runs, gave up 2 tonight. Right-hander David Herndon gets started on Castro on the 5-3 ground out.
Herndon making his first big league club. See his record there. He's 0-2. He's done a nice job of inherited runners. He has struggled at times, though, with his command. 30 innings, the 8 walks. He's a guy that hard thrower, good sinker slider. It's the first time the Cubs have ever faced him. He's a Rule 5 guy out of the Angels organization.
Called strike on Ryan Dempster. Jump over 500 tonight. Came in at 7-7 on the year. And it's bounced foul. Is that for good luck? Are being held captive at the moment. Can't really tell. Swing and a miss. And Dempster strikes out. On Tuesday, the Cubs host the Houston Astros here at Wrigley Field. Game time 7:05. Be sure to arrive early as the first 10,000 fans get a Cubs rally towel, compliments of Gatorade. It's a guy who distributes a lot of Gatorade towels in the Cubs dugout clubhouse. Tom Otis Hellman, happy birthday to Otis.
It's Otis's birthday today?
It is.
Oh, I got to go down and say after the game and say hi. Happy birthday, Otis.
Terrio 0 for 2. Herndon works from the stretch with nobody on.
He just turned 21 today, right?
Yeah, right. Swing and a miss. Ryan Theriot announcing he and Cubs Charities have teamed up to create a mystery ball sale here at Wrigley, and proceeds will benefit the National Wildlife Federation in support of its Gulf Coast relief efforts. It's coming up Tuesday, July 20th against Houston. And the sales will take place in front of the Wrigley Field gates. So those without a ticket can purchase a mystery ball or make a contribution. Each Cub player, manager Lou Piniella, Ernie Banks, and select Cubs alumni have autographed baseballs for the evening. More than 1,000 will be sold. So make sure you purchase a mystery ball, and it helps a great cause. Each baseball will be signed, placed in a brown bag, and distributed randomly to Wrigley Field's entrance gates. You can purchase a ball for $20, and proceeds will benefit Cubs Charities and the National Wildlife Federation. Line right at Jimmy Rollins, and the Cubs go down in order for the first time tonight and fail to score for the first time, but they lead the Phillies 6-2. Top 5, Cubs 6, Phillies 2. Split a 2-game series earlier this year in Philadelphia. The Cubs have not fared well against the Phillies here lately. Wilson Valdez lines to Marlon Byrd in center, trying to win their first season series since 0-1 against the Phillies. Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how would you like to win $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to Subway. Text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete info and rules. Cody Ransom's going to bat for David Herndon. He pitched a 1-2-3 fourth. So Kyle Kendrick will get the bottom of this inning. It's funny how baseball works. You get a 3-day All-Star break. You're a pitching coach, a manager. You look at your bullpen. You say, we're stocked. We're in good shape. And then your starter goes 3 innings in the first game back.
And you start managing that bullpen down the line. Got what they wanted. Felt like there might be a game where you could use 3 or 4 guys for an inning. Try to get to the back end of your bullpen.
Charlie Manuel's kind of in that Tuesday night 34-man roster mode. But he can't go to Adam Wainwright and company late. Ransom held up 2-2. Ransom was with the Cubs in spring training in 2005. Spent part of that year with AAA Iowa. And he was the Yankees' opening day third baseman last year because of A-Rod's hip injury. That's high, 3-2.
No free passes here, though. 6-2 lead. Back to the top of the order. Make Ransom swing the bat here.
Rollover bouncer foul. Kind of interesting. Cody Ransom with 276 career at bats, 8 home runs. This year in the minors, 82 games at AAA, 16 home runs. He's had 4 20-homer years in the minors, but it has not really translated into big power at this level. And of course, he hasn't played every day a whole lot. That certainly helps. Swing and a miss. That was a home run cut.
I think one of the biggest adjustments you have to make is, you feel so comfortable. I can play at this level, and you know that when you get sent back down or you're at that point, you feel you're accustomed. I can do my job, and then you go to the next one and say, I have to do more than I'm capable of doing, and sometimes it doesn't translate. I think that Tyler Colvin is one of the guys that's really made that nice transfer to come to the big leagues and not force things. Now, he might be a little mentally tired going into the break, but I think that's one of the things that young players really have to adapt to. The fact is, do I belong here? And then they do. You have to mentally think, I belong here.
2-0 on Jimmy Rollins.
When you start trying in baseball, you're in trouble. You know, instead of reacting and just playing the game, when you start trying to play the game, you have trouble.
Now, one thing we know, if Dempster goes 3-0 on Rollins, although the situation a little different, his team down 4, he could have the green light like he did in Philadelphia on May 20th, and he hit a go-ahead 3-run homer. Those are things pitchers will certainly stick in the back of their mind. Although, again, down 4, I would not expect Rollins to be swinging away on this pitch.
But they were loaded, yes.
No doubt. And he takes a strike, 3-1. There's ball 4. Wrigleyville Rooftops has premier seating for up to 200 guests for corporate gatherings, family reunions, and bachelor or bachelorette parties. Individual and group tickets are available for all games. For more details, go to WrigleyvilleRooftops.com or call 773-248-ROOF.
Hot days turned into a gorgeous night here in Chicago. Not a cloud in the sky. Very little breeze now.
Victorino 0 for 2.
Not near what it was earlier. It is turning into a gorgeous evening here.
The thing that happens, Keith, when you have a 4-run lead on a night like this against the Phillies, you do limit their running game. Now, they have not run nearly as much as they would like. They come in ranked 13th in the National League in stolen bases. They have one of the best base running instructors in the game, maybe the best in former Cub Davey Lopes over at first base.
Nobody does a better job of teaching guys how to get leads, understanding moves. And you're right, that's one of the things they have not done here in the first half.
I think part of it is Rollins has been on the DL twice. As Ramirez will make the catch, Victorino pops out, and the Phillies are done in the 5th. Cubs lead 6-2 from Wrigley. With other major league teams for a $200,000 Pepsi Refresh grant. Their idea is to support the Humboldt Park Little League, allowing hundreds of kids to play baseball at no cost to their families. Vote now at MLB.com/Pepsi. At Pepsi Refresh. You know what? I couldn't read it. That was my bad. Our text Cubs to 676-462. The team with the most votes by August 17th wins the $200,000 grant for their idea. I was reading Pepsi Fresh, and I'm thinking there's Pepsi in there somewhere.
Kyle Kendrick is a starter. He tells you about the All-Star break. Try to get him some length here. Day to work.
That will just get out of play.
Really done a pretty good job on the season. He comes in at 5-3. He's making his 19th appearance. He has started 17 ball games for the Phillies. Pretty nice job of keeping them in ball games.
Colvin turns on it. It'll be fair into the right field corner. That'll go all the way to the wall. Worth will pick it up. And Tyler with a leadoff double. And he's been on all 3 times.
Just real soft hands. can see Tyler, he sets on that backside, lets the ball come to him. Real good swing, just drops the head of the bat down on it, drives it into the corner. Love to see those real soft, nice hands and quick reaction. Very little body movement.
The leadoff man on, it's Derek Lee. It's a ground ball to the second baseman. Valdez throws to first. And Colvin now 90 feet away with one out.
Oh, that's a productive out. You don't think about your number 3 hitter, the man on second base. 11 games under 500. That's a professional hitter. Gave himself up, did his job. Now Marlon Byrd's got to do his job. That's the way you play the game. You do that consistently up and down the lineup. You see his teammates there giving him a hand. That's the way the game's made to be played.
The Phillies have to bring their infielders in, already down 4. And the pitch to Bird, called strike. Now the Phillies have their pitching probables for the rest of the weekend. Kyle Kendrick, the only one not listed, which would lead you to believe he would be scheduled to pitch their first game of the next series, which is Monday at St. Louis. Just getting an inning, and he's going to keep Colvin at third as Bird grounds out to the pitcher. Time now to check out today's improvement from Menards. A long season for Aramis Ramirez, but signs of life right before the All-Star break on a 2-run double in his first at bat tonight. For all your home improvement needs, shop and save big money at Menards.
Kendrick on an excellent pitch there. Inside fastball, first pitch for a strike for Marlon. And he comes right back with a good hard sinker. This ties him up, shatters the bat in on his hands. So I was looking for that same pitch. Turns it, wraps it foul. Does a nice job. Ramirez, you can see his backside not collapsing, stays up, down and through it. Back elbow staying right down through the ball. Hit it hard, but pulled it foul.
This is Kendrick's first appearance in a week. More than anything, Charlie Manuel just trying to help shake off the rust.
And knowing he's not going to go again until Monday. I think he's probably on about a 45-50 pitch cap.
1-1 to Aramis, way out in front. That one skipped up over the dugout into the seats. You know that guy pretty well.
Played baseball with him all through high school. Played college baseball with him at the University of Texas. He's a great addition. Really an outstanding coach. You see his intent on studying what these Cub hitters are doing.
Rudy Jaramillo, the Cubs' first-year hitting coach. And on one hop, Rollins with time. The stretch by Howard, and he kept his foot on the base for the out.
Outstanding play on both sides. Rollins to take away a base hit, and then Howard able to make the play at first base. Takes a run away from the Cubs.
Called strike on Raul Ibanez. We're underway in the 6th. Jimmy Rollins with a couple of excellent defensive plays in this one tonight. Saved a run. Getting Aramis Ramirez. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Ryan Howard did a nice job staying on the bag at first base as well. Took that 7th run off the board.
Foul tip, strike 3.
Aramis Ramirez just smashes this ball. Rollins has to go to his knees. He comes up. Howard does a nice job. Nice call right there. He definitely had that foot. Rollins does a nice job knocking it down and using his arm to go across and throw a little bit offline. But Howard going into the runner comes up, keeps his foot on the bag. It's a nice call, and he takes a runaway right there. Not only has he driven into, he saved one right there.
Big swing, fouled it back. Services today on Long Island for the great Bob Shepard, longtime public address announcer at Yankee Stadium, who passed away Sunday at 99. And then 2 days later, Yankees owner George Steinbrenner passed away at age 80. He and Lou Piniella were very tight. And a very rough week for the Yankees family. They will honor both Shepard and Steinbrenner before their game tomorrow night in New York against Tampa Bay.
You definitely knew you were a big leaguer when Mr. Shepard announced your name. I don't know of anybody that was more a dynamic owner in the game of baseball, especially when I was playing the game years ago. I mean, in the last few years, he's been ill and not involved as he was in the 70s and the 80s.
Those are 7 championships for George Steinbrenner, as Dempster can't get it. Ramirez has to play shortstop, and that will be a hit for Howard.
Well, that's that dribbler. There's nothing you can do about it. Denver Muir of Melbourne is tonight's hit the jackpot with Powerball contestant. If the Cubs hit a home run in the bottom of the 6th inning, Denver Muir will have 100 chances to win the Powerball jackpot. Saturday's jackpot is worth $27 million.
Who was asked today why he seemed to be a favorite of George Steinbrenner. He said, well, we both lived in the Tampa area. Lou from there. George lived there a long time. And Lou said, I also had a landscaping business, and I landscaped his home. How about that? So he worked for him outside of baseball as well.
So many players at the time that Lou and all of us were playing, they weren't quite making the money that you make today. And a lot of us went home and found ways to, hey, I need to make enough money where I can go play ball again.
One on Jason Worth.
But, you know, George Steinbrenner, he transcended just baseball. I mean, he one of the greatest sitcoms in the history of television. His name was recurring in Seinfeld.
He was bigger than life.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
no question. So you seem to intimate that you had an odd job here or there back in the day.
No question.
Anything really
I
interesting?
worked for a soft drink bottling company.
Did you do the actual bottling, or?
No, actually the delivery.
The delivery, okay. Yeah. Kept you in shape.
72-ounce returnable bottle. Now we don't have returnable bottles like we had. This is back before the wheel was invented, you know.
That's good. You didn't have to lift weights. You
didn't have to do much lifting. You're right. I weighed about 74 pounds a case.
Two to Jason Worth just outside. The voice you're hearing is former Cub great Keith Moreland in for Bob Brenly tonight. Cubs leading 6-2 here in the 6th.
This becomes a very big pitch, 3-2. I don't believe Howard will be off with this pitch, but all of a sudden now you can look in the on-deck circle. Ball game starts to get tight. Want to make it happen here.
Ball for Worth with a very keen eye at the plate. So 2 on for Greg Dobbs. You hit it on the head. I think this is just one of those nights, Keith, because of the conditions and the feel of this game, where you never feel comfortable until that 27th out is recorded.
Well, I saw these two teams was here involved. I happened to be on the other side in a 23-22 game one time. So it can happen in this ballpark. Not quite the same breeze we had that day, but this Cubs will start to get somebody up in the bullpen. You can see this is a big inning right here. Love to get a double play ball right now.
Outside ball 1.
We talked about the humidity and the heat. Starting pitchers are capable of going into the 7th, 8th, and 9th on a regular basis. But some nights and some days, it starts to wear on you. It's a hot day and a humid day.
Marshall got up just to use the rosin bag and sat back down. Swing and a miss. And a fastball at 93. 1-1. Now 1-2. As Dempster's one strikeout away from tying a season high of 9.
Best pitch of the night right there. That was a knee-high two-seamer. If he makes contact, if Dobbs hits that ball, it's going to be a ground ball with an opportunity for a double play. Got to stay away from the power here. I would think you'd go right back to that pitch away from him here. See if you can get him to roll one on the ground.
Well, a tough one to take, but he did to make it 2-2.
That's exactly what he did. He went right back to that same pitch. He just didn't get the call.
Carlos Ruiz on deck. Got him that time.
Two-seamer, and then he comes back with more of a four-seamer. This ball does not have as much sink. He just tries to get it right on the corner. Just an excellent pitch. Dobbs had no chance to hit it, and he knew right away. He did not argue with the call. He knew that he mentally was looking for something different. Still not out of a jam, though. As you mentioned, ties the season high with 9.
His career best 12 strikeouts back in 08 against San Diego. Howard with an infield single, followed by a Jason Worth walk. And a ground ball to Terrio. And he will flip to Castro covering second. And that ends the inning. The Phillies lead 2. The Cubs lead 6-2 midway in the 6th.
Panella, log on to WGNtelevision.com right now and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect all the up-to-date stats and information while you're watching the game at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape. Pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more. Right here on WGNtelevision.com.
Right-hander Chad Durbin comes the 4th Philly pitcher. The starter Moyer went just 3. We've seen Herndon, Kendrick, and now Durbin since. As Victorino will retire Soriano. 1 pitch, 1 out. Solid starting pitching. And the guys who you expect to drive in runs have done it tonight. So far, so good as we play the 6th.
Well, the 2 corner guys, Ramirez with a couple of rivers, 2-run shot by Derek Lee. Great starting pitching. That's a combination you were looking for the entire season.
And a steal of home by rookie Starlin Castro. And what would have been a suicide squeeze if the pitch had been anywhere close to the bat of Ryan Dempster, but it worked out.
Phillies got that inning of work for their starter, Kendrick. Chad Durbin in the game.
2-1 on Giovanni Soto. Easy play for Rollins. Check in on the Cubs farm system. A lot of good stuff to talk about, including the game Bob Brenly's watching. Michael, the DH, and has extended his hitting streak to 14 games, hitting around .450 during the streak. As they lead Fort Myers 4-1 in the 6th. So good news for Double-A Tennessee, Smokies Park will host the 2012 Southern League All-Star game. And Darwin Barney drove in the only run for the PCL in the AAA All-Star game, the International League, with a 2-1 win in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Thomas Diamond started the game. The Iowa Cub named the PCL's top star, 2 scoreless innings of work. Castro with a second hit.
That's a nice job. I really like what you see out of this young man. He's willing to work. He spent time today with Rudy Harmilio, spending time trying to stay inside the ball a lot. He was a little bit out on his front foot there, but kept his hands back where he could stay inside it. Strong enough to come up with the base hit.
Dempster cracked his bat as he grounds to Dobbs, and that's it. The bullpen's been good for the Phillies, but they trailed the Cubs 6-2 as we go to the 7th. 6 unanswered runs since. Look at that. Starlin Castro with the first straight steal of home by a Cub since Brian McRae did it back in 1996. Test drive in 2010. Honda CRV today. That's your Honda dealer. We get into the 7th. Something Ryan Dempster has done a lot this season. His last start, he went a season low 5 innings, only the second time in his first 18 outings that he didn't complete at least 6. And that is extremely helpful to have a guy you can count on every 5 days to go deep into a game.
That's your bullpen. You're going to have times when starters can't get that 6 or 7 innings under their belt.
And Derek Lee just can't get it as Wilson Valdez leads off the Phillies' 7th with a base hit. More action as Jose Contreras, a forkball specialist, is up, and we'll see Ross Glode, former Cub, to pinch hit. That's a strike on a fastball to Glode.
We will for the first time. Sean Marshall up, starting to toss. Cub bullpen.
See if they can turn 2. They get 1. That's it. Valdez right on top of Ryan Theriot, who decided not even to throw to first on a late developing play.
Theriot having to play in the hole just a little bit as he was over to his left. Ball hit sharply to Ramirez, but Theriot had a tough time getting there, and he never really could get the exchange on top of him. Ramirez gets the ball. Don't want to throw it in the seats. You get an out. See if you can get a double play here.
And Rollins takes a strike. Ryan Dempster and his wife Jenny hosting the Dempster Foundation Casino Night in Concert at the House of Blues in downtown Chicago this coming Wednesday, July 21st, 6 to 10:30. It's going to be a lot of fun. Special musical guest Jaron and the Long Road to Love. I will be emceeing, and we hope you come out for a great cause. As we're trying to strike out 22Q. They get 1, and that's it. Trying to do it the hard way. And nice acrobatic maneuver by Castro, but the throw to Dempster a little bit late.
Off of the end of the bat, ball not hit very hard. Lee gets to it, gets up, gets it out of his hands quickly. Castro having to get away from the runner. Dempster there, but Rollins with his great speed able to get down the line. Castro really couldn't step into the throw and deliver it with the velocity he wanted to.
So 2 down in the inning, and it's Shane Victorino as Julianne Hough gets set for the 7th inning stretch. 2-time Dancing with the Stars champion, country music artist.
You gotta love country music.
And you gotta love dancing. She's ready.
She doesn't look near as nervous as I'll be tomorrow.
And a base hit into left for Victorino through the hole on the left side. And we'll see what Lou decides to do here. He has Marshall up. The lefty Ibanez coming up, and the manager is going to head out.
Well, you got back-to-back left-handers. Dempster's done a nice job on a hot day. Don't want to allow, a big fly right here, and all of a sudden the Phillies right back in the ball game. Adela's going to make that move. Dempster with another outstanding start, though, as you mentioned. Getting into the sixth, almost finishes the seventh.
Sean Marshall in big hand for Ryan Dempster. Season, and Sean Marshall will try to strand a couple of runners on base as he faces Raul Ibanez with 2 outs. And Carlos Marmol have been the 2 most valuable members of the Cubs bullpen. Here's a pitch to Ibanez. The front door breaking ball just missed the inside corner. 1 ball, no strikes. Phillies are within slam range, and the guy you worry about is the guy on deck, Ryan Howard. This is a key guy.
No question. The point I was fixing to make is if Ibanez hits this ball out, you still have the lead. This is the guy you want to go after, and Marshall does hit the outside corner there.
As Keith mentioned earlier, 0-9 first half, especially for Ibanez. He was an all-star for the first time last season.
Oh, he was spectacular. Second half of the season, he did okay, but he was not the same player that he was in the first half of the season. And really, here in 2010, he hasn't been the same player that he was in the first half last year. It has been hot, as you mentioned, after moving into the 3-hole for Utley. Utley went on the DL.
Marshall set, and the 2-1 inside corner. Even though Ibanez moved his hands, the pitch was over the plate.
You want to make it happen here with this 2-2 pitch. He's been able to hit the inside corner with 2 fastballs. Hasn't been able to throw either breaking ball for a strike. He's set up for a good hard slider if he can make it look like a strike.
22 home runs at this time last year. Boy, I saw both runners fake a steal. And does that upset you a little bit as a hitter on a 2-2 count if you're not going to go in this spot?
Well, that never bothered me. I told Demir and Sandberg, especially when I was here, if y'all take off, y'all go. I'm trying to concentrate on the ball coming out of the pitcher's hands. If you're seeing movement and that's bothering you, I don't know that your concentration is as good as it should be.
Another 2-2, big swing. He just got a piece of it way out front.
Left that breaking ball, though, in the middle part of the plate in. You don't want to go there. You want to go away with it. I think if he bounces one right here, got a great opportunity to come up with a strikeout.
Strike 3. Ibanez did not like the call, but it doesn't matter. Time for the stretch.
Dancing with the Stars champion, Julian Huff.
From Chicago! I want to hear you all fans nice and loud. Let me hear you. A 1, a 2. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the
Dancing with the Stars champion as Jose Contreras continues this parade of Phillies relievers tonight, facing the top of the Cubs order. Julianne, nice to see you again.
Thank you. It's nice to be here again.
On a hot night here at Wrigley Field. You know, I've always felt there's a little something maybe extra special about singing the stretch for a night game, because the spotlight is on you and you feel like you're on stage.
It's so beautiful. I mean, like the lights, how green it is, the crowd. I feel like it's a concert. It's great.
Oh, skip past Greg Dobbs. Should be a hit for Terrio. So the leadoff man is on.
You're used to doing this now. Let me ask you a question. I know you're fixing to star in a film.
Yes,
Is this your first film?
Well, the first one I just shot comes out Thanksgiving Day. It's called Burlesque. And then this new one is the remake of Footloose, which I start shooting in September. And yeah, this is different. Usually I'm all about the live thing, you know, being up on stage and singing and performing. And so it's a little bit different, a lot more waiting around, but having fun doing it, though.
It was a hit for Ryan Terrio. Now Tyler Colvin. So two-time champion. What's more fun for you, the dancing or the singing or the acting now?
Oh, man. You know what? They all go hand in hand. I don't think I could pick one over the other. You know, it's not like I'm trying to be a brain surgeon and an actress or a singer, you know, so it's like they all kind of fit together, which is a good thing. So,
who has been your favorite partner to dance with in Dancing with the Stars? I know you don't want to single anybody out. We'll just start with you like them all, but
I like them all, but my first season with Apollo Ono, Apollo will always be my favorite partner. He was my first one. It was my first season, so it's all new experiences, everything. So definitely Apollo.
And a gold medal winning short track speed skater.
Yes, indeed. I was so proud of him this year.
Rollins, the flip. Valdez, the turn, and a beautiful double play. Jimmy Rollins, Keith, has done it all tonight defensively, even though his team's down big.
That's his third outstanding defensive effort. This ball hit right on the button. Rollins knows he has to get down to get to it, but the ability to get it up, get it into the hands of the second baseman and then the relay, just a real nice job. That's tough right there with a guy bearing down on top of you. Just an outstanding defensive play for the double play.
So two down, nobody on. So Julianne, for two guys who can't dance, tell everybody out there, if you don't know how to dance, what's the one thing you have to learn how to do first? Is Rollins will spin, and that will be late.
Well, you just said the word spin, so if you spin the lady into a dip, I think you're all good. But
well, what's the biggest challenge for the partners you've had who maybe don't have a lot of experience?
You know, just I don't know, just the confidence in getting over that. But you know, I haven't been on the last couple of seasons, which has been different for me. I've kind of been a fan watching, and you know, Dancing with the Stars has been so great. They've let me off to work on my new record, and I actually just released a single called "Is That So Wrong" that just came out to radio last couple weeks. So US 99 Chicago, please request. And then the album comes out in November. So we've been doing a lot of touring and stuff, getting ready for that, and it's just been a bunch of fun. And obviously the partners from the shows, they come from to the shows, and it's fun.
You've been on the road a lot. In other words, you have been on the road a lot.
It's been pretty crazy. I've had just a couple of days off, and now I'm back at it, and I'm definitely enjoying it.
A couple of hits this inning. Ryan Terrio, and then he was erased in a 6-4-3 double play. Lee singling with 2 outs. 1-0 count on Marlon Byrd. Just missed a little bit low. 2-0.
Now you obviously will have an album that came out with your single that came out in June. I mean, I'm sure you're building toward this album, or is it out now as well?
No. We just released the single. It's called "Is That So Wrong," and then the album comes out in November, and that's called Wildfire. And I've been really excited. I got to write the record, and which I didn't get to do the first record. So this one definitely is a lot more me, and I think people will get to see a different side of me, a little bit more mature side of me. I've grown up a lot since they saw me at 18 years old on Dancing with the Stars. So it's going to be a little bit more of an eye-opener, I think, for people. In a good way, I know that. So not a bad way.
We've just got a piece of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, with one opening, a show opening, and then the album coming,
yes,
and then filming another one.
Yes,
you have been busy.
I've been busy, but I'm really fortunate. I mean, everything that I do is a dream come true, and everybody that supported me from day one, from this show to my music to my films, it's been, I mean, incredible. So.
Did you have a favorite baseball team growing up? Now, you were born in Utah, right?
Yes, I was born in Utah. So, I mean, at the time that I was still living there, it was the Buzz.
That's right.
I think it was the Buzz.
Salt Lake Buzz.
But I have to say, I am a Cubs fan. I've been to more Cubs games than I have, what is it now, the Stingers? I don't know what it's called. That's terrible. I'm from Utah.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I wouldn't know if it's the Buzz or not.
Exactly.
They still have a team there, yes.
I think they do.
3-2 with 2 outs. Derek Lee will be on the move with this pitch. And Howard playing behind him. Here it is. And Bird gets hit yet again. He's been hit twice tonight. Julianne Huff, thanks so much for the time.
Absolutely.
We'll see you back here at Wrigley Field very soon. And good luck with all the upcoming projects.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me again.
Good luck to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So the inning continuing for Ramos Ramirez. We've been keeping an eye on Marlon Byrd's walk and hit batter totals this season. And getting punked twice tonight. How about this? This is his 88th game. He's been hit 14 times and he's walked 14 times. Not easy to do.
Not easy to do at all. 28 free passes.
I think most guys would rather walk 28 times and not get hit at all, but that doesn't bother Marlon.
These are big at bats here in the second half. Ramirez, he's on that little hot streak. He has, throughout his career, has been excellent with 2 outs. Guys in scoring position.
Inside.
He would like to put this thing away right here. I mean, a 4-run lead in this ballpark. Obviously, breeze, not a lot, but is blowing out to right. Would love to have some insurance.
Fair ball. Dobbs couldn't handle it, and the Cubs will get probably 2. Leanne Bird will score, and Ramos has done it again. 2 2-run doubles tonight, 8-2.
You can just see, it doesn't matter how long you've played this game. Confidence in the game of baseball is so important. And you can just see the confidence of Ramirez now. He worked the count right, got a fastball down and in, and just laces it by Dobbs into the corner. Drive in a couple. Dobbs with no chance. That ball was buying before he actually moved into the corner. Nice hustle to score. 4 ribbies tonight for Ramirez. All with 2 outs.
And a rough inning for Greg Dobbs. A couple of shots. The Terrios single was to his left. And the Ramirez double just to his right. Soriano waves at that pitch. 0-2.
It's also, that's the 10th hit of the night for the Cubs.
Mentor and pupil discussing things in the dugout. Feathered out in the left center. Going to be a tough play. It's going to drop. And Aramis coming in. The throw by Ibanez. Not in time. 9-2. Second RBI of the night for Soriano.
The fork ball, split finger. off of the end of the bat. Not hit very hard, but hit in the right spot. Adding fooled out in front. Strong enough, though, to get the barrel of the bat on it. Drive in the 9th run of the ball game. 11th hit of the night. Good night offensively for the Cubs.
Soto trying to get in on the act. 0 for 3, but he's caught a good game tonight. 1 ball, no strikes.
That's a great pitch to hit right here. More than likely a 9-2 ball game. 2-0 count, you're going to get a fastball. Soto has very good plate coverage, understanding of the strike zone, 43 walks on the season.
And he crushes this one deep to left center. I'd say he got in on the act. A 2-run homer. 11-2.
After the 2 breaking balls, as a hitter, you almost got to be setting in a 9-2 ball game on a fastball. Gio got all of that one. You work to get 2-0 counts knowing fastball's coming. And Soto was setting all over that. Great extension. Barrel the bat out in front. 10th home run of the year for Soto.
A rough 7th for Jose Contreras. 5 2-out runs. And he's out. And another veteran righty, Danny Baez, coming in. 11-2 Cubs in the 7th. Install of 08 after Tommy John surgery in October of 07. Trying to get that 3rd out is Starlin. Castro powders one in the deep center. Victorino will chase this one down. And Castro with 2 outs is going to hold with a double.
Sitting on first pitch fastball. 3rd hit of the night for the rookie shortstop. He's looking fastball here. Just gets good extension. Victorino with no chance plays a fairly shallow center field. This ball was over his head from Jump Street. He turns his back, holds Castro to a double. Sean Marshall will get a chance to swing the bat.
Castro a home run away from the cycle. As Marshall took a big hack and fouled it away. We want to send out get well wishes to Daniel Hervis, our great intern who just had an appendectomy, and we hope to see him soon. Those are no fun. And again, shout out to our producer extraordinaire, Mark Brady, covering at home. We'll see you back here at the yard on Monday. 2 strikes to Sean Marshall. The other thing Bob and I talk about quite a bit, Keith, a night like this, when you can go through just about the entire opposing bullpen in game 1 of a 4-game series, it's nice to have your hitters get a good look at all these guys.
No doubt. And you get an opportunity to see with the ball how it comes out of his hands, what he tries to do with the baseball. I think it helps you down the line. Now the bullpen did pretty well until here in the bottom of the 7th. For the Phillies. Still a lot of baseball left this weekend between these 2 clubs.
Swing and a miss to end the inning, but a big one for the Cubs. They tack on 5 and now lead the Phillies 11-2. Catcher, clutch hitter, Zonk did it all for the Cubs in the 80s. Find out more of what's possible at att.com. AT&T, rethink possible. In the book Cubs, Where Have You Gone? Gary Matthews saying, quote, I don't think I have ever seen a better hitter at the plate when the game is on the line than Keith Moreland. High praise right there.
That is high
Sarge.
praise, and what a great friend, and what a great teammate. Can we go back and do it all again?
There's a Sarge with Chris Wheeler over on Phillies television.
Sarge is a great guy, great sense of humor, great baseball guy. Loves the city of Chicago as well.
We haven't even talked about your great collegiate career. Two-sports star, Texas.
That's been a while back. Excellent pitch right there. Started it out making it look like a strike. Breaks it outside the strike zone as a hitter. Howard is looking breaking ball. You've got to show it, make it be close enough to a strike, but then let it break outside the zone.
Marshall struck out Raul Ibanez to end the seventh. It's 11-2 now, but at the time it was 6-2. And if he had not gotten Ibanez, Howard would have come up as the tying run. So a lot has changed since then.
Let's step on the gas, put the game away. Exactly what the Cubs offense did. But you're right. The strikeout of Ibanez on an inside fastball changed the complexion of the game.
And Howard waves at strike three as Soto will complete the play by firing to Derek Lee. Don't miss the action as the Cubs battle the Phillies tomorrow here at Wrigley Field. Game time 1:20, but be sure to get here early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs magnet photo frame, compliments of Cannon.
And Marshall comes in, does his job, gets two big outs. Strikes out Ibanez and strikes out Howard here at the top of the eighth. Two batters he faces. He retires both of them via the K.
And the right-hander Justin Bird coming on. 11-2 Cubs. Billy Wagner got his 21st save. It's the only game that's gone final tonight. Cardinals do lead the Dodgers in the bottom of the seventh in St. Louis 6-1. Andre Ethier with his 15th home run. The only run Chris Carpenter has given up through 7. Mets are in San Francisco tonight. Carlos Beltran makes his season debut. He's hitting cleanup, coming off right knee surgery. High fly ball deep to center. Bird's going to have just enough room at the edge of the track, about 385 feet from home plate.
Just didn't get that full extension. Got it about the label, didn't get it out in the sweet spot of the bat. It'll be interesting to see how that team that a lot of people didn't feel like could compete in the Eastern Division. What that addition is, that going, how close is he going to be to the same player at one time in the last 3 or 4 years, one of the best players in the game. See if he's going to be able to come back with that knee.
And Jose Reyes was scratched tonight. But Beltran back in the Mets lineup. A right oblique problem for Jose Reyes.
So I would think that's a batting practice injury where he just tweaked it a little bit swinging.
Yeah, back on June 30th during BP. So Atlanta's lead right now, 4.5 over Atlanta, 5 ahead of the Phillies after the Braves win tonight. Atlanta over Milwaukee tonight. Three and 1 on Greg Dobbs.
Get a chance as Berg in a game like this. Sometimes you think, well, you know, it's an 11-2 ball game, but this is where you proved to everybody, hey, I can come in and throw strikes and get people out. It gives you an opportunity to get into closer games and get more opportunities to get to the mound. There's nobody more than the manager watching to see, all right, this guy's got a lead. Will he throw strikes? Come in and keep the ball down. No free passes.
And there is a free pass. Texas scored 6 in the first in Boston and beat the Red Sox 7-2. Tommy Hunter now 6-0 as he defeated Tim Wakefield.
I guess the Rangers are for real.
Sure looks that way.
Everybody keeps part of the country that I call home. I think they're going to find that way to fade as they have in the past. The month of August, difficult to play, 95 degrees every night. Seem to run out of fuel late in the year. Right now, though, the addition of pretty good left-hander Seattle may make a difference for them down the stretch.
They lost Cliff Lee's debut, but I think that will turn out well for them. And another guy they got recently, Benji Molina, with a home run tonight.
Yeah, they've really needed somebody to secure that position behind the plate.
A rough night for that young Philly fan. 2-1 on Carlos Ruiz. I think being here at Wrigley Field, he'd be just happy, but his team is not winning. Well, that is a scowl right there.
He did have a scowl on his face. Hey, he didn't have school tomorrow.
Strike 2. Full count on Ruiz. White Sox lead the Twins 8-6 in the 6th. No Justin Morneau tonight because of a concussion. Popped into right. No problem. Tyler Colvin, inning over. 2-out walk, but no damage done. Phillies haven't scored since the first inning. 11-2 Cubs. Shop of the Chicago Cubs at Cubs.com. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source, the Cubs.com shop. Accept no substitutes. Top of the order for the Cubs, the 5th time through is Ryan Theriot. Chops it foul just wide of third.
Counted out 13 hits tonight. The big inning, of course, the 5-run 7th. I think those first 3 innings of the game, falling behind 2-0 and then coming right back to answer. It's huge for this. Dempster was brilliant after that.
Not an easy night to pitch here, with the ball really jumping. Before the break on the last Cubs homestand, they got knocked around on a couple of days like this by the Cincinnati Reds. Good to see them turn the tables on the Philadelphia Phillies. That's muscled out into right as Ryan Theriot has his second hit, as many at bats, 2 for 5.
Just able to get enough of the barrel on it, get it into right field. 14th hit of the night. These 2 young guys, though, Castro and Colvin, have both really swung the bat well tonight. Sixth, 4-3 double play turned by Jimmy Rollins on a ball that was hit right on the button, too.
And a heater for a strike at 92.
Howard will play behind Theriot. No threat to run now.
Cubs will have a 50-50 raffle here at Wrigley Field for the home games for the second half of the season. So starting tonight, uniformed Cubs Charities raffle ticket sellers will start 2 hours before the game until the bottom of the fourth. If you come out to the ballpark, you should buy a ticket, and one lucky fan will win half of the net proceeds. The other half will benefit Cubs Charities. This is kind of the unwritten rule part of the game. As Ryan Howard not holding on a stolen base threat. Ryan Theriot not even thinking about running on that ball that got away from Carlos Ruiz. A 9-run lead late.
Oh, it's a way to get somebody hit in the bonnet. Because you're showing somebody up at that point. I mean, there are certain things in the game that are just, you just don't do. I mean, pitcher and hitter are the battle right now.
Swing and a miss as Baez wins that battle for the first out.
They really did a nice job. The 1-1 pitch, the good hard breaking ball that Tyler swung over the top, really set up the rest of the at bat. He was still looking for that. Tardy on that fastball that time, just because of the hard breaking. Lee setting on the breaking ball. His second at bat, Jamie Moyer started him out in the first inning with a breaking ball for a strike. Tried to do the same thing in the third. Derek would have no part of that.
Derek trying to get his season going. A pretty good trip. 7 hits, including a double. Well, he'd like to hit for more power, and good to see him hit that home run tonight.
Well, we talked about confidence earlier in the broadcast. I just think that is the one thing that even if you've been around 10 or 12 years and you look at your numbers and you've been a good player and you know you haven't forgotten how to hit, it's the confidence to go up there, look for a pitch, and then put a good swing on it. When that confidence starts to go, both Lee and Ramirez, you can see them starting to build that confidence, just the way they're attacking pitches.
For Derek, he feels like it's all about his hands. He was watching some video of his mechanics from last year, just before the break, to see if he could spot anything. He just has not had a prolonged hot streak all season. Hopefully he's starting one tonight. 3-2 the count.
He just dropped underneath that one. That was an excellent pitch to hit. 3-1. You know you're going to get fastball. Those are the ones that you sort of lose some confidence. You can see Derek, as soon as he swung the bat, he just got that backside a little bit underneath it. That doesn't allow him to get on top of the ball. That means it's going to go up and to the right.
And back through the legs of Baez and into center for his third hit.
And he comes right back on a ball downstairs and stays on top of it. Made a nice adjustment. Those are the things we're talking about. You've got to make an adjustment. Pitch before, he was on his backside underneath it. This one, he just drops the head down. I mean, that's through the 5-hole in the center. And stay up. See him drop right down on top of the baseball. Stays on top, drives it down and through.
By the way, for Danny Baez, this is his Wrigley Field debut. His third career appearance against the Cubs. That's the old school uni. The Lenny Dykstra edition. Curious to see if he's got the zipper front.
He did have a zipper on.
Did you ever find out why they had the zipper front? Is it just,
I don't know.
Just something different.
We wore, my first year here in Chicago, we wore pullover tops, which was, I'd never wore a pullover top jersey.
Two and one on Marlon Byrd.
Marlon He's not earned a base hit tonight. He scored twice. RBI opportunity here.
Love the at-bat he had against Jose Valverde late in the All-Star game. Every pitch that came up there, he look at Valverde and smile as if to say, I know what you're trying to do. He had an NL high 16 pitches to look at in just 2 plate appearances. A real good approach. 3-1. Pretty neat for a guy who was in the minor leagues with his career at a crossroads at the end of 06 and then early in 07. Ryan Madsen getting loose just in case for the Phillies. 3-2.
Well, I think his attitude was a major part of that. You're right. He was right on the brink and maybe not established himself as a big leaguer and found a way to get it done in Texas. And really been an excellent addition to the Cubs here, 2010.
Ball 4 just missed outside. And that loads him up. Now, he might not show it, but you know inside he's feeling very good. It's been a tough go here the first 3+ months for the Cubs and an inconsistent offense, but not so tonight.
Yeah, 15 base hits. Other thing that you go is the patience at the plate, not going outside the strike zone. Try to get Madsen ready. Jimmy Rollins comes in. Spend some time. Bears with an opportunity to have a really big night.
He's already knocked in 4 with a couple of doubles. Fastball strike.
Might get a steady dot of something spinning around. Baez gets ahead in the count. Slider stays upstairs. I think he'll get another one here.
Two.
All speed had him out in front. Had a good night. Will leave a good taste in your mouth. Just a sacrifice fly, if nothing else here. I don't think it'll make a difference in the outcome of the game, but you want that positive reinforcement for tomorrow.
Straight up in the air. Ruiz now back of the plate. We're out number 2.
That's just that little bitty thing right there. It's been a good night. Really talk about the fact that he was excellent with 2 outs. Guys in scoring position, but it's those little bitty things. He'll probably remember that at bat as he goes home, and you can see him not happy with himself. Understands it. Might have left something out there right there.
Well, there's a fine line, isn't there, Keith, with being hard on yourself to get better, but not beating yourself up too much to the point where you're thinking, as you say, about the failures as opposed to the successes.
Because you start trying. Then you start trying to make things happen rather than going to the plate. I really believe that early in the ball game, he was just trying to see the ball, work on his mechanics, stay inside it. That time he felt like he was going to do something really good, and he tried to make something happen. Got himself behind by swinging at a couple of breaking balls. Couldn't get the job done.
2-0 now on Soriano.
Still got to take the positives from tonight.
3-0 with the bases loaded.
I wouldn't mind seeing Starling getting an opportunity to go for the cycle. He's a big fly away from it.
On strike, 3-1.
In a year where we've had perfect games, no hitters, we don't talk about many cycles very often.
Jody Garrett of the Brewers hit for the cycle earlier this year as Soriano singles into right. Terrio in, and Derek Lee's going to be held up again. Mike Quaddy normally sends him in that spot with 2 outs, but it's 12-2. Soriano with his 3rd RBI, and Charlie Manuel's going to make another change.
He's going to have to go to the bullpen to probably a guy he did not want to go to. He would love to have gotten out of this inning without having to make another pitching change.
So all Cubs tonight. We're in the 8th. They have the bases loaded. We'll be back. A broken right big toe. He'll face Giovanni Soto with the bases loaded. A run in.
He is a guy that is a much better pitcher than the numbers he's shown this season, trying to come back from that injury. Electric fastball. Soto steps in. Worked the 2-0 count his last at bat. Knew he was going to get a fastball. Great extension on it. 2-run shot. Almost out of here in left center field. I mean, out of the stadium.
So a couple balls get completely out of the yard. And pop up out into shallow center. Victorino underneath. Cubs get 1. They leave the bases loaded. We'll head off to the 9th. Cubs 12, Phillies 2. On 16 hits, and the pitching staff has been excellent as well. Dempster, Marshall, Berg, and now Bob Howery for the final 3. Valdez, a pinch hitter Francisco, and then Jimmy Rollins for the Phillies. Howery's been a lot better as a Cub than he was as a Diamondback early in the year.
Strikes has been the difference. Early in the year, he was struggling with the strike zone, pitching from behind in the count. Since coming to the Cubs, he's really done a nice job of keeping the ball down and getting ahead with strike 1.
20th appearance with the Cubs this season. 1 ball, 1 strike.
At times can be really difficult on right-handed hitters. You just
Francisco.
cannot help to give just a little bit.
Off the end of the bat, down along the right field line, and Colvin gives it a look, but it's just tucked into the front row behind the ledge. Off the Phillies bullpen. And one of the 40,879 who paid tonight will take that one home as a souvenir.
Late arriving crowd. Good kid. Got packed tonight.
Well, as you know, the traffic around Wrigleyville can sometimes slow you down coming into the yard. Now that youngster looks like he's ready to sing.
Yes, he does.
2-2 on Valdez.
Tough pitch to lay off right there. 3-quarter delivery. Hard breaking ball.
Two on the way. And that'll drop down in front of Colvin. So Valdez is 2 for 4. And now pinch hitter Ben Francisco. Great work by our entire WGN Sports crew tonight. Had some rearranged parts because of vacation time and illness, as we mentioned, but our producer tonight, our executive producer Bob Vorwald, filling in for Mark Brady. Skip Ellison, our director. Tamara Anderson in for Doug Stanton as our associate producer. Our studio coordinator back at WGN, Christina Ballas. Paula Oskrova, our stage manager in the booth. As always, Keith, a fine job filling in for Bob. Always great to see you.
Well, thanks to all of you and all the help. And thanks for carrying me again, Lynn.
So what's your record now, if assuming the Cubs can hang on to a 10-run lead here in the ninth?
I am 2-1.
Okay. Francisco's going to need a new bat.
That one split all the way from the top to the bottom.
It was a sheer shot.
That's the longest walk in baseball. You go over and you have to point at a bat and say, yeah, give me this other one over here that I haven't used very often. My gamer just got shattered. Pitcher's all got his chest popped out. Yeah, I just broke his bat. That's a long walk. Done it many times.
Two strikes on Francisco. Here's the pitch. Down the left field line, and no play for Soriano.
Now he goes right back in there. That's one of the other things. That you just break a guy's bat. He's just got a new piece of lumber and walked up there. He comes right back with an inside fastball. He's got him set up for a little slider away. He might get the strikeout.
Smothered by Soto.
That's exactly the pitch he went to. He just laid off of it.
Marlon Byrd in center. Interesting, Valdez went back to tag up and went about a third of the way towards second. So Byrd tried to get it all the way to second, airmailed it.
Nice job, pitcher in the right spot. Got a big smile on his face. Made an excellent play on Tuesday night, though. Deserve a 3-1 National League victory. And that's hard for me to say. As a National League guy most of my career, I spent about a half a season in the American League at the end. I cannot believe it's been since 1996.
We'll see Cub fans enjoying the ball game tonight. And had that rough series against the Reds the last time we were here a couple weeks ago, but it's been a fun one tonight. Back by Juan Castro, hitting for Jimmy Rollins. Does Charlie Manuel know that this is not the All-Star game? I think he's bound and determined to get every one of his players into this game tonight.
Well, I think he felt like that he's used to managing that way. He got a W the last time he did it.
Well, and I think because his team has not played since Sunday, and with the score being what it is, give all of his bench guys a late inning at bat. Only guy we have not seen off their bench is the backup catcher, Brian Schneider.
Well,
2-2.
It's nice to get at bat every once in a while, just to see live pitching. You can work on offensive things and BP, but going to the plate, the lights are on, crowds in the game, helps you somewhere down the line.
Still 2-2. Ted Lilly will take the ball tomorrow against righty Joe Blanton, and then on Saturday Randy Wells for the Cubs, lefty Cole Hamels for the Phillies. And we mentioned Roy Halladay, who went 2/3 of an inning in the All-Star game. He'll start Sunday against lefty Tom Gorzolani. A pop-up sending Castro out. Soriano over, and Soriano made the catch. I think Castro could have gotten it. What a long run by Starlin Castro.
What a good communication there. He did a nice job as a young player. Alfonso called him off at the last minute. Starlin threw on the brakes. There was no collision. Good communication. For a young shortstop, this is a long run for both players. Win what breeze we have, pushing this back to the field. Right here, Soriano says, I got it. Castro backs off. It's a nice job listening to his left fielder, who has the command on that play.
Pitch to Victorino with a runner going. Swung on and missed.
Will be
no steal for Valdez.
Scores indifference. This crowd is happy tonight. On their feet already.
And a base hit to right. And Valdez will score to make it 12-3.
That's what that moving up to second base so costs Howery an earned run.
I guess, Keith, that's probably the only issue I have with calling off the dogs late, is that if you do change it, you know, Soriano had an RBI taken away
Right.
In the bottom of the 8th. Bob Howery might not give up a run here in the 9th if they're holding on Valdez. Now Victorino will take second, and if Ibanez singles, he'll give up another one.
Yeah, it's, you know, sometimes you know, we spend a lot of time, especially in the off season, thinking, well, this guy, look at his ERA. You know, how many, you know, you give up 2 or 3 of those throughout the year, that changes your ERA for sure.
Big swing and a miss. And the Cubs are 1 strike away.
You think he knows the words to it? That young man right there?
I think he does. Chorus, yes.
I think he does.
And a roller into right, and Victorino will score. So it's 12-4.
Well, the point you just made, it's come up. You look at it, just shaking your head. That would have gotten 1 of them in, but I don't believe he would have had 2 earnings. Now he's got a tough customer right here to keep the ball in the ballpark. Cubs will have to start with some activity in the bullpen.
Very optimistic Phillies fan with the rally cap on, down 8 here in the 9th. Ibanez will take second. Feel like we keep hitting the rewind button.
Yeah, is this Groundhog Day? Where's Bill Murray?
1 strike on Howard.
Nice pitch there, middle part of the plate in. Do not want Howard to get extension. Dempster left one out over the plate in the first. Got to go middle part of the plate in. Keep him from getting those big arms extended. Hard in, soft downstairs.
hooking one down the right field line. It's fair, and it's a 2-run homer. He has found Sheffield for his second homer tonight. And it's now 12-6. Still a comfortable lead for the Cubs, but Bob Howery now charged with 4 runs here in the ninth.
He got to the 2-1 count, left this ball out over the plate. Ryan Howard gets all of this. This is a monster, folks. This ball up, out over the plate. Ryan Howard trying to see, is that ball going to stay fair? I believe it left the ballpark long before it was going to hook, and it really never did hook foul. Ball's about 450 feet.
Larry Rothschild, the Cubs pitching coach, is out. Andrew Cashner up in the bullpen.
We talked about it being a night where the ball was going to jump. Fortunately for the Cubs, Dempster and Marshall did an excellent job of keeping the Phillies at bay until here in the ninth.
So Larry making the pitching change. Andrew Cashner will try to get that final out when we come back. Is up 6 runs, but the Phillies have scored 4 times after 2 are out.
Crowd getting a little impatient. They've been on their feet for about 15 minutes.
Worth has struck out twice, fly to center, and walked. Good heat at 96 for strike 1. Cashner's 1-1. Worth pops it up. This will do it. Ryan Theriot makes the catch. Cubs win.
Complete performance tonight. Late in the game, obviously, you get the 4 runs, but offensively pound out 16 hit. Ryan Dempster with an excellent start. The Cubs get a good start here in the second half.
Well, you better get ready for a